Hey everyone, Morgan here. So today I want to talk about a recession, what it is, what we can look for a little bit, and then how we can be prepared for it, okay? So I'm not a financial guru. I know how to be prepared, for financial crises, for pandemics and all these things. And it makes sense that we would be headed into a recession because of this pandemic. Because with food chains being halted, with unemployment skyrocketing, and with people staying in their homes and not going out to spend money, right? It makes sense that a recession is happening. Basically, a recession is a fancy word for the economy has kind of stopped growing. Okay, now many of the experts are saying that yeah, we are headed into recession, but they're seeing that we could recover by 2021. So it could be the end of 2021, middle, I don't know, but they're saying that this recession is probably only going to last 6 months. Now it takes 6 months to actually get into the heart of the recession. So people haven't actually declared it a recession yet because it hasn't actually been a full 6 months of severe economic decline. So that's why we can't technically say it's a recession yet, and why we still do have plenty of time. Well, we have some time to be prepared for the upcoming recession. Now, I've been talking about recessions and a recession leading to potential depression for months now because of this pandemic. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some ways that we can be prepared for a recession, financially, and just in general, okay? And I know that a lot of people, when they hear about a recession or depression, what they're thinking of is economic collapse. I mean, most preppers and most people are just like hoping and praying for an economic collapse. From what I'm reading with the experts, I'm not seeing an economic collapse. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think that at this point in time, we still have to focus on what is happening right now in our lives, okay? We can't just ignore our bills and our rent and all these things just because we're hoping for an economic collapse in which, the dollar's worthless and all this stuff, a new currency is coming and all this. We can't hope and pray for that. So we have to focus on what we can do now to be prepared for the current society that we live in, as well as keeping in mind, any sort of drastic economic changes. So first of all, if you do have debt, like if you've been trying to pay it off, just try to just now pay the minimum off, okay? Step back on paying off your debt. Now, normally I would recommend paying off your debt as quickly as possible. However, because, we are going into recession, you're going to need that extra income to take care of your basic needs, your food, water, shelter, and then any transportation needs, right? This is really important if you don't have a job. Now, if you do have a job and you're able to put some extra money towards that debt, then definitely do still pay off that debt. The less debt you have, the better. Again, we can't hope and pray that the economy is going to collapse and all our debt's going to magically disappear with an EMP or whatever it is that you're hoping for. We have to live for the current times that we are in, okay? So right now, if you don't have a job or anything, just level off on that debt and try to just pay the minimum for now, and then have a plan to start, paying extra towards your debt. You could also call your companies that you're in debt with and just ask for any extensions or, like a month or two to not pay, something like that. But do understand that if you do that, especially with mortgages and things, it'll just go to the end of it'll just basically roll over. So you don't have to pay that month, but it's still part of your overall debt, right? It doesn't magically go away. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about asking for like a month of forgiveness or something like that. So if you're saving, I think it's really important that we do continue to save if we can, but I think it's along the lines of the debt. If you don't have that disposable income and all of your income is going towards that shelter, food, your basic bills, to keep the lights on and water flowing, whatever the case may be, then level it out and just keep the money saved that you have and try not to spend it if you don't have to, right? Now, if you have to spend it, you have that emergency funding. And if you can continue to save money through side hustles or anything like that, then absolutely continue to save money, but make sure that you're covering those basic needs of food, your utilities, shelter, and then any transportation needs that you might need. You really need to get on a budget. Whether you have a job or not, get on a budget and stay on a budget, okay? We need to be very aware of how and where we are spending our money. Adjust your budget to live within whatever means that you have available. And this would also include, trying to continue to stockpile that food and water and whatever else you need. Actually math it out. How much extra can you spend on that food? And listen, if you have to go get food from a food bank or something, go do it, okay? Set your ego aside. If you got to get food and you can't afford it, but all you can afford is like the shelter, the roof over your head, then just go to the food bank and get food, okay? There are resources out there to help you should you need it. Sell stuff. Like I was saying with the side hustle, definitely sell stuff. Start selling stuff. I've been in this position more times than I can count. If you do not have, income, any income, even if it's just like a couple $100s, a couple $100 doesn't spread very far, especially when you're trying to pay bills, support a family, whatever the case may be. If nobody's hiring and you're not getting a job, right, then start selling stuff. It's just stuff. You can always get that stuff later, especially if you have, valuable stuff, get rid of it. Now, I understand that there's a lot of sentimental value to a lot of the things that we have, and you may not be able to get rid of it. And I understand that. But really think hard about your stuff, extra clothing. I mean, there's always people who are looking for really unique and random things. You never know what might sell. And of course, if you can get some sort of temporary job, side hustle, any type of job that you can work to get a little extra income, it's always better. I mean, go down and sell your plasma, anything is better than nothing, okay? The next one is going to be getting creative, okay? Think of ways for less waste, reusing things. Instead of driving to work, maybe could you bike to work? Math all this stuff and figure it out. But I think the biggest, most important prep of all is your mindset. And I say this because during times of economic worries, especially if you don't have a job or our job during this time is really not guaranteed to anybody. But during any time, your job is not guaranteed, okay? We need to get creative with how we support ourselves. If you pick up a new trade and you want to start selling crafts on Etsy, selling some candies on candles, candies, you could start making candies too. Start selling stuff, start getting creative, but really your mindset is really what's going to get you through this. It's going to give you hope. It's going to keep pushing you forward. Your positive mindset is going to keep moving you forward towards a better, more prepared life so that you can keep moving through the recession. And when we recover, your life will be far better for it because you've gotten through this, you budgeted, you did whatever you had to do in order to get through this. You're not alone in this, okay? Find local church groups or local community gatherings, whatever it is, to, even if it's just online, volunteer your time, do something to keep busy, whatever the case may be. And of course, spend more time with your family. I mean, this is such a great time to invest more time in your family and your loved ones. Read more books, keep active, keep your mind and your body active. Go for more walks, go for more runs, go for more family bike rides. Do whatever you have to in order to keep that positive morale up. You may think this is frou-frou, but no matter what type of crisis we're talking about, our mindset is what's really going to push us forward or it's going to bring us down, whatever you choose. Keep trying to stockpile food and excess water, batteries, and then, like the basics of, extra blankets, in case power's ever shut off at any point, ways to keep cool without electricity, ways to keep warm without electricity, all these little things. I mean, they're not little things. Take care of those basic needs and be prepared with those basic needs. Keep being as self-sufficient as you possibly can be based on any limitations that you may have, apartment, whatever the case may be. And if you ever have to, please reach out for help, okay? That's what this community is all about, helping each other. So please reach out for help if you ever need it. Thank you all so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.